Genshin Impact has finally released their first plus-sized character, Verisa. And as expected, this has sparked a lot of controversy. Some players are unhappy with how her character was handled, specifically pointing out that she attacks enemies by literally sitting on them, and that her profession is, of all things, being a professional eater. Others simply think her design is ugly, but let's be honest, that reaction happens with every new Genshin release. But the real question is Verisa actually plus-sized? Verisa's name doesn't have a widely recognized linguistic origin, but it does resemble names found in Slavic, Spanish, or Italian cultures. It might be derived from the surname Veras, which appears in Bosnia, Croatia, and Italy, or it could reference the Zulu fertility goddess Baba Mwana. Verisa hails from Natlan, one of the 7 nations in Genshin Impact. Nalan is inspired by Mesoamerican and indigenous cultures, particularly those of the Aztecs, Maya, and Inca. Additionally, some West African and other indigenous elements may also influence its design, based on existing lore, character names, and aesthetics. Because of this, it's difficult to pin down Verisa's exact nationality. However, given the various cultural hints, she seems to be Latina, African, or perhaps a blend of both. But these are broad terms that encompass countless different cultures, so any assumption comes with a grain of salt. Verisa's character design features pink and blue hair with a yellow, black, and brown outfit. This color palette feels somewhat scattered, but what stands out most is how her design heavily resembles a cow or a bull. Bulls are closely associated with both Brazil and Mexico, reinforcing the Latin American influences in her character. Some players have pointed out that her combat style mirrors Mexican women's wrestling, also known as lucha libre. While I personally don't know much about that subject, it makes sense given the numerous references to Mexico in her design and fighting style. So, for the sake of this discussion, let's assume Verisa is meant to be Mexican. That might seem like an unnecessary distinction considering this video is about her body type, but trust me, we're going somewhere with this. Is she really plus-sized? By Western standards, Verisa wouldn't typically be considered plus-sized. If we compare her model to the average American body type, she's nowhere near what Western society classifies as plus-sized. But here's where we have to be careful. We don't want to look at this through an ethnocentric lens. Instead, we should approach Verisa's design through cultural relativism. This is where things get tricky. Verisa is not culturally Mexican. She's a vaguely Mexican-inspired character created by Chinese developers for a mixed global audience. Because of this, we need to analyze her body type through both Latin American and Chinese beauty standards. In Latin America, body diversity is more widely embraced compared to other parts of the world, and Kavya body types are often celebrated in media and culture. While there is still pressure to conform to certain beauty ideals, the standard of beauty includes a range of body types, including more full-figured women. China, on the other hand, has much stricter and more narrow beauty standards, especially in terms of body size. The prevailing ideal in Chinese media tends to favor extremely slim and petite figures, which is why most Genshin characters fit a very uniform mold. But even compared to the average Chinese woman, Verisa's waist is way slimmer. She's not even chubby by Asian beauty standards. That says something. If Verisa is no bigger than the average body type by her own cultural standards, why are Genshin fans calling her chubby? This might say more about Genshin's usual design choices and fan expectations than about Verisa herself. When almost every female character adheres to an ultra-thin standard, even a slightly more average figure appears exaggerated in contrast. The real issue might not be Verisa's body at all, it might be Genshin's long-standing reluctance to showcase real variety in character design. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Like this video if you want more Genshin commentary or character design breakdowns.